Good evening, YouTube. So this is a long-awaited video. I know that people have been asking me all day what my opinions is about this new Giselle and if you should pull for her tomorrow and how I take a look at her and what I think about her, right? So I'm going to give you my opinions here on this new limited edition hero that we will be getting tomorrow, Friday, the 25th of October, and it's the Halloween limited edition hero called Giselle. Now let me just start by talking a bit about the aesthetics here. I think she looks absolutely gorgeous. She's a very nice model here, and the animations is very nice. It's something new that we haven't seen in this game before, and maybe it's a bit too flashy actually, like all this down here, Halloween, Happy Halloween, and all these pumpkins flying around in the air and some bad stab, but you know what, it's Halloween and it's just a game, right? So it's all about having fun here. Now one thing I will say about her, like the aesthetics here and the look on her, is actually, and something that kind of annoys me, is actually the wings. I don't think the wings is proportionately placed correctly. I believe they are like, it just looks a bit weird for me to look at these wings here. Like they should have been on the shoulders instead of the lower back, and it's actually the same issue that they made with Chelsea here. I also think this one looks kind of stupid with the wings on the lower back. But then if you go to take a look at someone like Nita here, these wings here are placed perfectly. This is how I would have wished that Giselle's wings would have been placed, like at the upper shoulder department. That looks a lot better when the wings is placed up there. And we can even take a example here from Elsa, who also have her wings at the upper back here at the shoulders, and this looks amazing compared to the wing placement on Giselle. But that's just a minor detail, right? You're probably not gonna waste your time looking at the wings. I'm just pointing it out that I believe that the wings is looking a little bit weird, the placement on those, especially with the tail and all that. I think they should have placed it up like behind her hair here. There's lots of room for it. It could have easily been up there and she would have looked a lot more cool and demonic, but it is what it is. Now let me just look at her skills together with you guys, and then we'll look at her echo, and then we'll test her out in trial arena to see what we believe she can do. Now first of all, let's talk about the basic ability here. The basic ability is doing 120% attack damage and 120% attack poison damage to a single enemy, with a 60% chance to inflict one layer of poison fright. Poison fright is her unique poison debuff that she does. Now the icon for the debuff is the same as the regular poison, and I saw someone in the chat today, in the developer chat, asking to get this icon replaced with something else, or at least have it look different than the other poison debuff, because it's kind of hard to see the difference between these two in game. It's actually impossible. So like, yeah, so we're hoping that they might change this icon here to something that is more recognizable, right? So, but with the books, she's gonna go up to 10, 20, 40% extra chance of doing the poison fright, so she has a 100% chance of inflicting poison fright on her basic attack. Now remember guys, that 100% chance doesn't mean that it is guaranteed. It just means that it is 100% that she's starting with, and then you have to reduce it by the amount of resistance on the enemy. So like if the boss or the enemies have let's say 50% resistance, then you only have a 50% chance to land, right? That is obviously before your own effective hit on your character. So if it's a boss with 150% resistance and you have a 100% chance to land it, you are minus 50. So you need to get at least yeah, well, what is it, maybe 51 or something like that to have 1% chance, and so forth, right? But a 100% chance is great. It's very nice. It's if you give her like 100% hit chance, then you can pretty much hit every boss in the entire game with this ability, and 100% effective is easy to get, especially when we take a look at her passive in a minute. Now another nice thing about her basic attack is this one here, afterward refreshes the duration of all poison on the target. This is huge for poison team, especially in Wuthering Coast and Planet Rift, Liuli bosses, everything that is PvE, because you have Melo, or maybe you have her, maybe you don't, but if you have Melo, she is making all your poison team doing the ally attack, so they will use their basic attack all the time, which means that Giselle will use her basic attack all the time, and you will have a 10 stacks of poison on the boss or the enemies at all times because of this ability. So that is huge, very nice, the stacks will never drop. Now her S2 or skill 2 here deals 3 stages of 90%, 80% attack poison damage to all enemies, each having a 70% chance to inflict, I'm counting the books, 70% chance to inflict 1 layer of poison fright for 2 turns, and when all allies have acted for 1 turn at least, Giselle will additionally cast Fright Impact once. Now it also says that it will also reduce all enemy turn meters by 10% at this time, and then start the count from 0. So basically, if you are looking at an arena perspective, your entire team goes, and she will cast this ability automatically. You will remove 10% turn meter on the enemies before they get the turn. It might be like a clutch to actually give you another turn if you have someone else that is faster than the team, or if you have someone with a lot of speed, you might be able to go twice, or at least disrupt their abilities and their routine. So that is also nice to have this. It's just an additional thing, and we are starting to get a lot of turn meter reduction in the game. We also have Lance, he's also doing a lot of turn meter reduction, so we are starting to get that, and this is automatically. Now for her passive here, she is immune to turn meter reduction herself, which means Popper, Ronai, Lance, all those doesn't work against her. They cannot reduce her turn meter, which is nice. And each time she inflicts Poison Fright, she will also inflict 1 layer of Bewitchment. Now, Poison Fright, and here it actually says what the ability does. Each turn before action, the target takes 50% of Giselle's attack. Consider it as poison, which means that it will scale with the poison buff from Imercado, and also scale with the debuff from Magdi or Nita, and it will also scale with blessings that increase poison damage. But every poison ability does that, so it's kind of weird that they've said it like this, but I think it's to show that it is counted as a poison debuff. So if other heroes have something that synergizes with poison, then that is what it counts as. Otherwise they would have to change the wording on every buff and debuff to also include Poison Fright as the poison debuff, so I think that is why they've put it like this. It also says that it doesn't count towards the max limit on the layers of poison, stackable up to 10 layers, so you can have 10 of these Poison Fright and 10 of the regular poison side by side. Now it also says that it is infected by skill damage bonuses, and the most important part, it ignores damage immunity. Now if you look at the normal poison debuff, it's over here. That is actually doing 100% of attack, where her is only doing 50% of attack. So while it sounds like a lot, it's actually half the damage of the normal regular poison debuff. So the great thing about hers is that it scales with skill damage. It doesn't say that the regular poison debuff is scaling with skill damage, and it also ignores damage immunity. So that is like the win-win situation here. That is what you are gaining from this, right? Also, it says that it's going to reduce the damage dealt by a target with Poison Fright by 30%, but it cannot be stacked with poison, the normal poison. And if you take a look over here, it says that each layer of poison is reducing by 1.5%, stackable up to 10 layers, and the effect will be doubled when you have more than 5 layers. So that is also, if I'm not mistaken, 30% of damage reduction. So basically this is just another way to ensure that you get 30% damage reduction from the beginning, especially with her exclusive that we'll take a look at in a minute. Now Bewitchment is also being applied for every layer of Poison Fright, and she can have 10 layers, so that is 10 times 8.4 with books. So she can reduce 84% mastery and 84% crit damage on enemies, which is huge. It's huge for PvP, and it's also very nice for PvE actually, so bosses doesn't hit that hard and all that kind of thing. Now let's look at her S4 here. That is the interesting part. It adds attack up 2 to everyone, that is very nice, and then it does the damage, so she buffs herself before she does her damage. Afterward deals 11 stages of damage to enemies. Each of the first 10 stages deals 80% attack poison damage, which goes up to, yeah, it's just 80% attack poison damage to a single enemy, prioritizing attacking different targets, and the last stage deals 80% poison damage to all enemies. So the first 10 is just hitting single target, but it's prioritizing hitting different random ones, and then the last one would do one big 80% attack damage to everyone. Now each stage, which means 11 times this one here, has a let's see, 90% chance to inflict one layer of poison fright. So you can imagine on bosses, you'll start up with this ability here, you'll get attack buff, and you'll instantly place the 10 layers of poison fright on the boss, giving you damage reduction, giving you all this kind of nice things that she has, and a lot of damage from the beginning. So that is very nice. It also says that she has a chance to stun when she casts this ability if the target already have the poison fright. So if you have the exclusive tree where she uses poison fright from the, like when the enemy has the turn, we'll look at that in a second, and then you start out with this one here, you can actually stun your enemies. And you have a 30% chance plus some books here, that is 45% chance to stun, which is a decent chance. It's the same as I think Beatrix has also 40%, Rista is also around 40%, so I think that is normal for stun debuff. It's not the highest percentage on other classes either. Now it also says here, and this is very interesting, we cannot test this today at the trial arena, we can only test it on a boss unit, but it says that the Haunting Hand here, when it deals damage to boss for every layer of poison, and again that is why they've told her that it is poison, for every layer of poison owned by the boss increases damage dealt by 20% up to 400%. So basically, once you have 10% of the 10 stacks of the regular poison and 10 stacks of the poison fright, then this ability here will do 400% more damage, and it's already doing a lot of damage from the beginning. Now let's take a quick look at her exclusives and then her echo, and then I will tell you why I do not think her echo is that broken as people are telling you. So with exclusive 1 here, when a battle starts, for every 1% mastery owned by Giselle, additionally grants herself 0.5 affected up to 120% and can be gained this way. So basically just stack mastery on her, try to get to 240% mastery, and then you will get the affected for free, or get, I don't know, 200% mastery and you'll still get 100% affected. So basically you do not need to worry about affected on her, you can just stack mastery and obviously attack and some speed. That is the way to gear this guy. Each time Giselle inflicts 1 layer of a debuff on the enemy, or an enemy cleanses 1 layer of a debuff, Giselle also removes 1 layer of a buff from the enemy, and for every 1 enemy with bewitchment exists, Giselle increases skill damage reduction by 10%. Now it says here, so she'll also be a very nice buff stripper, and then it also says that for every 1 enemy with bewitchment exists, which means that in arena you have 5 targets, so the maximum she can reduce it by is 50%, because it's not per stack but it's per enemy. And then also in against bosses that doesn't have any adds, it's only 10%, so it's not that strong against bosses, but it's great in PvP or bosses with adds. Now exclusive 2, when poison fright deals damage, Giselle also restores some HP. The damage dealt, that is fine. For every 10 layers of poison inflicted by allies, reduces the cooldown of all Giselle's skills by 1 turn. Now this is interesting, means you wanna pair her up with other poison heroes that does a lot of stacks of poison. It could be like Imercado, Villa, those kind of, maybe even Nita, because every time they stack 10 layers, her ability is going to be reduced by 1, and her S4 is doing 11 hits, so it's basically like the Little Jack exclusive 3 kinda situation, where he also gets reduced his cooldown there, just by himself though. When Giselle is pursued and attacked by the skill against a single target, so for example Lance, there is a 100% chance to inflict 1 layer of poison fright, which means she'll start out by putting 30% damage reduction on Lance. Meanwhile triggers poison for once, so she'll also do some damage. each time she is pursued and attacked, triggers 1 more layer of poison, and up to 6 layers can be triggered. So, and the trigger layers will be reset when Giselle's turn begins. So basically, before she gets her turn, so if you take Lance into consideration, she will reduce his damage. She will like counter attack him with some poison damage. She might do some extra damage to Lance and those pursue and attack types, right? And the last one here, obviously, it's the moneymaker. At the beginning of an enemy's turn, removes that block debuff. Let's just read it one more time, because this is absolutely insane actually. At the beginning of an enemy's turn, removes that block debuff. Means block debuff is not going to be a thing anymore in PvP when you have Giselle in the team. It's not even at the beginning of the wave or beginning of the battle, it's every time the enemy takes a turn. If they have a block debuff, it's gone. And other than that, it's also going to, afterward, there is a 100% chance to inflict 1 layer of poison fright on them, meaning they will do 30% less damage. Attack down, that is 40% less damage, and also cold 2, I believe, also is like 40% skill damage. And this is every time enemy gets a turn. It's insane. It's removing the block debuff. It's putting these debuffs down on them for every turn. So you'll have like I don't know, 100% uptime minus the cleanses from Muringjing and some Wukong and whatever, right? But it's very close to 100%. And then if the target already has a poison fright, Giselle has a 100% chance to inflict another poison fright on all enemies. Now it also says that after all allies have taken damage, Giselle cleanses all CC from herself and acts immediately 1 turn. This effect can only be triggered once each wave. So basically, if someone does an AoE attack on you and you've been CC'd, she will get out of the CC and she'll have a turn immediately, which means you can just start with the S4 and nuke someone, right? So that is also great against CC, because we have a lot of CC in Arena at the moment. Now that is exclusive. I believe that is very nice. I would definitely try to get exclusive 3 obviously on her, but if you cannot get that, then I think exclusive 0 is also very good actually. I believe she's very good at her base here, because she got some very nice abilities. Also attack up buff is very nice, and all the damage and stuff that she does. Now her echo, let's just take a look at her echo real quick before we test her. The video has already been a bit long, but that is how it is with some great limited heroes, right? So this is her echo. Now lethal seduction, the mastery part on it is very good. It's very nice for her. It also means that if you max her echo, you're also getting 15% effective hit from the beginning, just from this echo here. And it also gives her some skill damage, that is nice. And also when she does some poison damage, she's going to stack another poison damage increase on herself up to 4 layers, right? Now the last part is what people have been telling is broken, it's crazy and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just going to say right now, I don't think it's that broken actually. I actually think it's kind of weak, and maybe I should have thought of something else or buffed it. Because let's read what it says. If the owner is from Doom Legion, she is that, after the owner inflicts poison for the first time each wave. Now I'm imagining you have exclusive 3, so she can place the poison when enemies take that turn. She's going to put this one on every ally. Gift of Doom. Only 1 HP is lost when taking any damage. Will be removed after taking basic attack or skill damage. 1 time, 1 time, 2 time, 2 time, 3 time, 3 times. Now let's just imagine, and it also says that it can only be triggered once. This effect of the same echo can only be triggered once. Basically, so, and it's only the first time each wave. So no matter if you are exclusive, let's say you have exclusive 0 or 1 or 2, and you are applying the poison debuff yourself, then the battle has already started and you are probably already behind, and then this one probably won't do much difference anyways. Let's imagine you have exclusive 3 on her. You have her echo, you spend some money, you maxed her echo, it's 5-star. You are going to take the first 3 turns here, only 1 HP. Now I'm going to show you why this is not a problem and why this is not broken. And I'll just show you with one character here, and it's going to be Ronai. Now Ronai's ability here, it has 3 stages of attack, which means that if you start out with your Ronai and you use this ability here, the buff is gone. 3 stages from Ronai attack, because it doesn't matter if you're doing 1 damage or you're doing a million damage, it's going to break the buff as soon as it's taking 3 stages of damage. So Ronai, a single Ronai here will break the buff, will remove it completely, and still do, well, not turn meter reduction on Giselle, but turn meter reduction on the rest of the team, obviously, and making them sleep. But it doesn't take any more than 1 Ronai. 1 Ronai and the echo is completely gone, and you've used a lot of echo materials or money to get it to 5-star, right? So I don't think that is worth it, and there are lots of other heroes that will be able to do some damage. Now if you say Popper, he's also doing damage. He's doing damage on this ability, he's doing damage on this ability, and he can use this one immediately at the start. Lydia is also doing damage with her ability, so she's also going to remove 1 stage. And actually she's doing 3 stages here. It says afterward deals 3 stages of attack damage, so 1 Lydia will also remove the buff. So I do not think that it is so broken. Now guys, 21 minutes into the video, I hope you're still here. Otherwise, yeah, I'm sorry for dragging this out. Let's test her out in arena. Alright guys, so we're back here, we're in the trial arena. I've given her some stats that I believe is a good baseline. I've just given her 2200 speed, 50k attack, 100% affected and 200% mastery. I haven't given her any skill damage, but we can always play with the numbers if needed to like assume that she has a devour gear or whatever. But let's see here. So what I would do in the beginning here of the match, obviously start with S4, and we can see here that it is doing a decent amount of damage. It's also applying 6 layers of the poison debuff on everyone, and the poison fright debuff, and 6 layers of the bewitchment debuff here. And it's also stunning, so you can see here that in the same ability she also has the possibility to stun targets, and this is at exclusive 0. So that is actually very nice. That is very fine. Now let's see the other one here. I just want to see the effects here. I haven't seen it. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I like her animations, actually looks very good. And you can see just by using 2 abilities here, now she's stacked the 10 layers actually of both the bewitchment ability and the other ability here. So that is great, especially because this ability here will be cast automatically when your allies have had 1 turn at least. So basically you start up with this one, and then allies goes and you'll use the other one, and you will have 10 stacks of both debuffs on the targets here. And yeah, you cannot see the trial arena, but you have reduced the mastery and crit damage. Now that is by using just those 2 abilities there. Let's see her damage. So she did 15 million damage. Every damage she did was a AoE, so that is very great. Now I'm gonna try her out with the exclusive 1 to see if her the damage increases, and we're gonna do the same order here. So first S4 and then this one here, and see if that did anything for her damage. It's the same damage with exclusive 1. What was exclusive 1 doing? Let's see here at the start of battle. Well, she should be gaining some oh yeah, only affected, not the other way around, not mastery, right? So yeah, so that is actually exclusive 1 is the one giving her additional affected, and also the cleanse or the buff strip and the skill damage reduction down. So that is good that it didn't increase the damage, because it shouldn't do that. Let's see on exclusive 2 if anything happens with her damage. It's always good to just test the abilities here, like to see what kind of investment you should be going for, if anything changes, like sometimes, like Irato for example, exclusive 3 is kind of doubling her damage. Still no damage gain from exclusive 2. What was exclusive 2? Exclusive 2 is the one where she heals herself, reduces cooldown, has a chance to do if she gets pursued and attack. So no damage increase for exclusive 2 either. Now exclusive 3 is not a damage increase either, but we just do it for the sake of the video. Let's just test it real quick, and let's just see here. So basically what you can take from this video here already, the first minute here, is that by giving her exclusives, her damage is not going up, which is obviously also what the exclusive is saying, right? So if you're only thinking about damage, you do not need exclusives on her, but if you want all the utility and all the other great stuff that she can do, obviously you would need the exclusives. Alright, we're back here. I've put in my poison team that I'm usually using in Wuthering Coast. I do not have a MACD exclusive 2 or 3, so I'm using my Freud for my Wuthering teams, and normally it does around 3 million damage. I've synced the stats of Willa, Freud, Melo and Imercado to be the ones that I have on my account, and then I've still kept the 200% mastery 50k attack on Giselle, because I believe that is kind of the stats that is what I can achieve on my account tomorrow when I pull her, if I'm lucky with some good gear. And this is just to see how much damage she does. You're just gonna give it like 10 seconds more here. You can see Imercado is stacking his buff here. He's also giving mastery to the rest of the team. And obviously I haven't set up any AI setup here, so Melo is probably not using her S2 as her prio. But this is just to compare the damage to the other guys. Now let's stop it here. It's fine, let's see the data sheet here. And you can see here that this is at exclusive 0. Now my Imercado has 48k attack and 200% mastery, so it's actually around the same as with Giselle. And you can see that Imercado is doing almost 3 times as much damage as Giselle is. And now the fun part is that we just saw that giving Giselle exclusives will not increase her damage. So at least on non-boss enemies, and this is very important to realize that against bosses she's doing 400% more damage with her S4, and we cannot test that in arena here. So if you just quadruple this damage here, it would be 240. Not too sure how precise that is, but if that is precise or just close to that, then obviously she is the one doing the most damage against that. Now Willa also is doing more damage than Imercado normally, so I don't know why she is so low here. There could be some reasons for it. Also auras is not working in here in Trial Arena, and there are other stuff that doesn't work in Trial Arena, so take it with a grain of salt, right? But obviously you can see her damage is just around the same as my Melo, and Melo has some very crap stats actually. This is with buffs obviously, so it's not looking that great so far with her damage, I must admit. But you can see all the debuffs here. That is insane to see all those debuffs here from both Willa and Giselle, and she's not even exclusive 1 or 2 there. So let's try on 1 here. Let's just make it run. On exclusive 1 it was the, yeah, it is just the damage reduction, so probably nothing will happen there. You know what, I think we should just go directly to exclusive 3 actually to see what happens here, because exclusive 1 and 2 are just like damage reductions and stuff like that. Just gonna test this one quick here, then I'm gonna put in my arena defense team that I'm normally using, because this team I'm against here, obviously it's the standard team in Trial Arena. It's not really doing anything, like it's not hitting us or doing any damage, right? So we cannot test the pursue and attack, we cannot test the damage reduction, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to put my actual arena defense in and see how it does against that. But let's just let it run here for just 10 seconds more. You can see all the debuffs here. They're stunned, they're slept, they are attack down, frozen down, cold down, speed down, everything down here on the enemies here. They are totally in control, but they also only have like 900 speed, so that is why they never get that turn. Now let's see the damage here. It's the same again. Imercado doing most, Willa, and then Giselle is very close there. Now as you can see, I'm just going to show it can I show it here? Let me just show it here. It's just to show the stats really, like this is with the attack bar from Freud, but 94k attack, so she has less attack, but she has almost the same. She actually has a bit more attack than Imercado. Mastery 192 is actually more also, so she has better stats on paper than Imercado, but she's still being out damaged by him a lot, so it's not looking great damage wise, guys, I'm not gonna lie, but on bosses obviously, as I said, 400% more damage. Now let me put my arena defense in and we'll see. Alright guys, I'm back here. I've put in my arena defense team. I've synced the stats so it's the same as my arena team, and yeah, I didn't even get a chance there. I got totally obliterated by my own team. The Lance proc the Irazu, and the Irazu killed the team here. Obviously you would not use this team in arena, but this is just to show, and this is with exclusive 1, right? So you can clearly see here that I didn't even get my turn because it's not on auto. So that is kind of how that goes. Let's try again, and then I'm just gonna try and put her at exclusive 1 here to see if anything happens. If that changes anything, that is the effective but also the damage reduction thing, and that didn't do anything either. We have to be quick here because on auto it's actually going to just nuke us in background. Exclusive 2, will that stop the Lance? Will that stop the Lance Pursue? I think that was the one that would stop the Lance Pursue. Now, will I actually live a bit longer at this time? But let's see on exclusive 3 if that does anything. Now, this is where she puts the poison fright when an enemy gets the turn. I'm gonna put it on 0 to see what happens. I just want to see what happens in practice, because getting the limited edition hero to exclusive 3 is a huge amount of effort. So let's see here. She put the you know what, Beatrix actually started with block removal, and the block removal actually, I think, so now I actually got my see, this time I actually got my turn here, and I think that was because I got stunned. Yeah, Beatrix started out with the stun, because on default she's going to stun if you are not CC'd. She started with the stun, and because of exclusive 3 on Giselle, she got her turn instantly. So now it's her turn, and I can do this, and yeah, nothing really happens here. Let's just put it up here, and Irazu is going to kill me again. So that is not really working out that great. Let me just change the lineup here. Can I stop the battle somehow? I cannot stop it. It's going to kill me. Okay, yeah. So I can stop it because I get CC'd, so I got my turn. So that is nice, I guess. I'm gonna remove these guys here. I would not use those in PvP, and then I'll set up a team here that I'll maybe use in PvP, and let's see. Alright guys, so I've put in basically the same team, but replace Beatrix with the Giselle just to see what happens. So my Giselle got her turn now, and we can do this one here. We're putting poisons on everyone and stunning some of the people here, and let's put it on auto to see what happens. You can see we're still getting hit by the Lance's spear. We're still getting hit by it, but is it better though? That is the big question. So it's the same stats for both teams, so it's coming down to RNG, maybe procs, and also if Giselle is better than Beatrix. We'll see about that. A lot of debuffs on everyone. The poison debuffs on the enemy team, so they should be doing less damage, 30% less damage at least, which is nice. The Irazu is getting close here to dying. I think she is helping with survivability actually. Yeah, so I think I like the damage here is actually pretty decent. If you look at this damage here, she's doing more damage than Lance, but obviously she's also doing AoE damage on everything and has the poison buffs. She's healing a bit, but that's on herself. She is helping a bit with the damage reduction. So definitely I think she can be used, but I think we need to rethink like how we're going to use her. She is not going to be the one doing the damage. She's going to be, well, she is a support hero, right? So she's going to be the one actually like helping everyone else stay a little bit more alive, and yeah. So I think that is her role. That is to place debuffs on enemies that actually reduces their damage. Like she also put the cold debuff, she puts the attack debuff every time people have their turn at the exclusive 3. She'd also remove the block debuff. Like if I had a panda, the panda is just useless now, right? and she's also ignoring some immunities and stuff like that. So I think that could work, like having her in a tanky team or in a team that absorbs a lot of damage. I think that is her role actually. She's not going on her own to support an entire team of poison. I think for damage wise she is primarily for PvE bossing, especially Wuthering Coast, Lioli and Planar Rift. That is where the developers have intended her to be used. That is also why she removes buffs, because that is what you need if you don't have the wolf pet on the poison team. So what are my verdict on her? Will I pull for her? Obviously I will pull for her. Should you pull for her? I believe you should at least get exclusive 0. She is very strong at exclusive 0. You can use her in your poison teams in Wuthering Coast, and you can use her in Planar Rift and all the other new content. For sure she will have a spot. Now if you go just take a quick look here at the Wuthering Coast, this is my current team. I will remove my Dakota here and then use the and use Giselle instead of Dakota, because I'll still get the attack and speed buff from Freud and he can keep my team alive, and Giselle can do some extra damage and also do some debuffing on the bosses, and I think that 400% damage against boss is going to be the key here. I really think that is the key to damage, is for PvE, bossing, for poison tags. And in PvP you're going to use her as a debuffer slash buff stripper slash kinda enabling everyone else to stay alive. Alright guys, that was a very long video. Thank you if you are here to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, and good luck tomorrow if you're pulling. Bye.